So what are two Singapore stocks, right, that can potentially have more upside as we head to the end of the year or maybe even to next year? Right, so in this video, we're going to just cover two stocks, and you might have heard of these stocks before. One of them is called JFAR, right over here, JFAR, and the other one will be Propnex, one of the leading real estate agency in Singapore. Hey guys, Joey here, top tier advisor in Philips Securities and chief trainer at Trading Impossible, right? So for these two stocks, just about a month back, early of November, we actually had some bullish signals coming from my 1GT, one good trend system. So both of them have started to push up by a little bit, more than 5 to 10% over the couple of weeks. But I still think that there could potentially be a bit more upside. So we're going to look at the signals, right? The bullish signals that we've gotten over the past 1 to 2 months, and then we'll dive into the charts for both of them, JFAR and Propnex, to see where we are now and where we can potentially head to. So do stick around all the way to the end of the video. I think I've got something that you like, and let's just dive into these two stocks right now. So let's talk about JFAR first. JFAR, JAPFA. What is this company doing? I think Propnex, all of you would know, is one of the real estate, leading real estate agency in Singapore with like more than a few thousand agents, right? And JFAR, let me just go ahead to check it out. What is JFAR doing? Basically, it is in the food processing business. All right, it's an agri-food company. They have operations in like Vietnam, Myanmar, and India. I think pretty much food processing, producing raw milk for downstream customers, and that's further used in many of these dairy products. So probably one of those food processing companies, right? Probably not as exciting, all right, but yeah, on the chart, as I mentioned, it looks good. We actually had a bullish signal. So let's dive into what the signal says, all right, and then we look at the charts again. So this is JFAR here. What happens is we had a 1GT, all right, one good trend signal, a bullish signal somewhere around early of November, just right over here, just before it started to rise up. All right, so I actually have this system called one good trend, which kind of guides me on when to get in and when to get out. Of course, kind of like focus on the few counters, because there's like more than 800 over counters in the Singapore market, right? So how do we know what to actually look at, right? So this system kind of like guides me just to focus on those few that gets put out, all right? And once we have a bullish signal on it, we'll kind of like focus on it, and that's where we can take a potential entry. All right, so JFAR is one of those whereby we had a bullish signal, all right, on the 2nd of November, started to push up by more than 10-15%, started to consolidate. We got an exit here somewhere around 19th of November, and more importantly, right about here, you can see that just recently, the most recent signal we had was about the 7th of December, right, just about 1 or 2 weeks back, and it kind of like pushed up, it kind of broke that 82, 83, started to push up, and now we are somewhere around that 90 cents. Alright, so this is JFAR. We had a bullish signal. There isn't any exit right now, so I'll dive into the charts for JFAR to see where we could potentially head to, probably before we see a bit of profit taking. So this is JFAR here, live as of the 16th of December 2020. It's a Wednesday. The market is trading live. It's 9:37 AM. Alright, so JFAR is currently trading at about 89 cents. We're seeing a bit of resistance at about 90 cents, right? So let's take a look at a bit of where we were just a few months back. I mentioned just somewhere around here on the 2nd of November, we had a 1GT, alright, bullish signal, right? So it kind of like broke above that 70 cents, started to push up, and then we got an exit somewhere around here, alright, and then we got another bullish signal somewhere on the 7th of December here, and started to push up. Alright, so this is where we are right now. So let's take a look at the trend for JFAR. I mean, in terms of the trend, is it like looking good in terms of the longer term trend? So you can see that we kind of like headed to a low, alright, somewhere around that 40 cents to 50 cents, somewhere around like March, April, after the pandemic, and then we kind of rebounded from there. So after that, we have seen a bit of a good reversal. We can in fact draw what we call an upward sloping channel support line, alright, with the trend, right, kind of turning from a bit of down to pushing upwards. I mean, more like a reversal back up. Alright, so this is a upward sloping channel support line here, and more importantly, we can take a look at the two longer term moving average. So look at this right over here. The red line is what we call the 100 days moving average. The blue one is the 200 days moving average. You can see that both of them are pretty much pointing up right now, right? And the red line is above the blue line, so that's a good sign of the trend, all right, starting to take shape in the mid to long term. All right, of course, in the short term, you can see it was quite volatile. It's consolidating below that 7.4. Of course, we got a bullish signal here, but when it broke that 7.4 resistance level, started to push all the way to about 8.2, 8.3, came back down, started to consolidate here. All right, and then we got another bullish signal. Alright, so in the short term wise, it looks quite good as well. Look at this, the 20 days moving average is pointing up, alright, and prices have kind of like gone back above that green line, the 20 days moving average, with it breaking that 82, 83 resistance and eventually heading to a high of about 90 cents. Right now, currently it's about 0.895. We're probably seeing a bit of profit taking right here. So in terms of the short-term trend, I think it looks quite good as well. I think probably we might want to shift this support upwards to about 85 cents right here. I think it might consolidate from like 85 to 90 cents before attempting to even break this 90 cents resistance to probably push towards that $1. So this could be the potential upside targets, and we do see a bit more bullish price actions just above the 90 cents. Of course, right now you can see that there's a bit of profit taking, which is normal. I mean, the fact that prices have gone up by more than, I would say, about in about 2 weeks, we've seen it rise by about 20%. Alright, so it's normal to see a bit of profit taking at about 90 cents, but we might consolidate below 90 cents for a while, or probably about a few days to a week, 1 or 2 weeks before attempting to break these 90 cents, and that's where we can see our target probably to about $1, right, which is a higher revised target. And of course, we look at the system again to see if there are any exit signal around there that can guide us on when to exit, right? So this is JFAR, right? One of the counters which have came into our watch list over the past 1 to 2 months because we had a bullish signal. You might want to put it in your watch list still, because I think that could still be a bit more upside, going forward in the next few weeks, or maybe going forward into next year, as long as some of those good key supports are holding. For now, it would be the 85 cents support level. So yes, we've covered JFAR. Let's go ahead to dive into the second counter I'd like to share with you, and this would be Propnex, right? One of the leading, property Singapore real estate agency in Singapore. Let me just show you what they do. Pretty much a Singapore-based real estate agency, and they provide project management, project marketing services. They have thousands of agents under them. Pretty much their business is in 4 main segments: real estate brokerage, sales training, property management, and real estate consultancy. Okay, yeah, so this is Propnex, I think one of the leading real estate agency, and over the past 1 to 2 months, we've seen a bit of a reversal, some good price actions coming back, and we also had a signal, right? So let's take a look at what we got from the system in terms of the bullish signal before we dive into the charts. So guys, if you like this video, I would appreciate an early thumbs up. It will definitely help out the YouTube channel, and thank you so much for giving me a thumbs up, right? So let's go ahead to dive into Propnex right now. So this is Propnex on the one good trend 1GT system that I have to kind of like guide me on when to get in, when to get out, alright, kind of like filters out stocks for us. So we had a bullish signal somewhere around September. You can see we are pretty much consolidating from this trend bar which I have right over here. There's some signs of a good uptrend starting to form, right, somewhere around August, September. So it was like consolidating, right? We had a one good trend bullish signal, started to push up a bit by about 5%. We got an exit, and more importantly, right over here, alright, on the 9th of November, right, just about the first and second week of November, we got a 1GT bullish signal, alright. It was then consolidating below that 65 cents level, but kind of like broke that level. The signal was kind of like activated, alright, and there could be a good entry. That's where we started to push up, and all the way we are currently about 0.78, probably near that 80 cents mark right now. Right, so this is the 1GT bullish signal on the 9th of November with no exit. So I'm going to dive into the charts for Propnex to see where we are on the charts and where we can potentially head to next. So this is Propnex here live on the charts. You can see we have been slowly inching upwards, I would say, since like June, July, August. We're like consolidating and pushing higher, and we got like a bullish signal somewhere around here, got an exit, and I think most recently I mentioned on the 9th of November, somewhere around here, just before it started to really push up, somewhere around here we got a bullish signal, alright, and that's where it started to push up all the way to about 785 right now. So yeah, Propnex is one of those companies which was pretty much consolidating, I would say, from like February all the way to like July, August 2020. All right, and that's where when we broke that 55 cents level, that's where I started to see the uptrend really started to take shape, and it pushing higher after each consolidation. All right, so in fact we can actually draw what we call an upward sloping channel support line. You can see forming higher lows. That's a good sign of the uptrend starting to take shape. Alright, so yeah, we can draw this line, and also from the moving averages. Look at this right over here. We have the red line, which is the 100 days moving average I talked about previously as well. The blue line, which is the 200 days moving average. Both of them are both pointing up. So they were like moving sideways, I would say, somewhere in like August, July as they were consolidating. But when we kind of broke that 55 cents level, we can see this red line started to turn up, right, crossing back over above the blue line. Both of them started to point up. So that's a good sign of the uptrend kind of starting to form in the mid to long term. All right. Of course, in the short term, we have some consolidation pushing up, consolidation pushing up, consolidation. So it kind of like consolidates for about 2 to 3 weeks each time, and then it kind of like attempts to break higher again. And that's exactly what we're seeing over the past like 2 to 3 months. Consolidate, push up, consolidate, push up, consolidate. So it's like about 1 or 2 weeks, and it started to push up. So we had this bullish signal I mentioned somewhere around 9th of November here. No exits on the bullish signal yet, as I've shown you on the system 1 GT system. So this is where we are right now, and in the short term you can see that this 20 days moving average line is pointing up. All right, it's pointing up, and prices is so hanging above this green 20 days moving average line. So in the short term wise, it looks quite okay. Of course, we might see a bit of profit taking as it pushes towards the 80 cents to 85 cents. Let me go ahead to draw a bit of an upside targets. Maybe we might have another resistance here, probably about 85 cents. I think right now, probably a bit of resistance at 80 cents, a bit of profit taking. We might hold above, consolidate, and then eventually break at 80 to hit to about that 85 cents. So this is where we are now. All right, but more importantly, you want to take note of this good support level. So we were actually consolidating just over the past 2 weeks below that 75 cents. So yeah, over the past 3 days, we have broken this 75 cents, which would now become the new support level, which I've drawn right here. So yeah, I think anything above that 75 cents, of course, bearing any exit signals that we see on system, or anything above 75 cents, I think it still looks good in terms of the uptrend in the short term. We might eventually attempt to break that 80 cents to push towards that 85, and then it might start to consolidate again before pushing higher. Okay, so this is Propnex right over here. One of those counters that we really like. I think it came to our watch list over the past 2 to 3 months. One of those good uptrending counters that has kind of like benefit from business going back to normal, usual. We have like viewings for the property agents, project sales coming back again with circuit breaker ending and all that. Right, so this is one of those companies that is showing signs of good potential as we head into the end of the year, maybe even going to 2021. Alright, so I hope you like this video. Alright, if you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button. Alright, and of course, give me a thumbs up if you've not done so. Alright, and yeah, take note of these two counters. I look forward to see you in the next video. Joey here.